We had a little base game update for The Sims 4 last week that has actually turned out to be a lot bigger than I initially realized, because for some reason they snuck in a massive new feature that they failed to mention in the patch notes. They do this sometimes where a big thing will get added to the game and they just won't list it in the patch notes. Most often it's like one new shirt they forget to list, but in this case it's kind of a big feature to overlook. So you know how I've been complaining constantly about the apartments in San Myshuno for like 7 years now? I've probably made dozens of videos ranting about how badly I want to be able to edit these apartments and like change the windows, change the doors, maybe delete the stuck lot traits. I was even saying stuff like, look, I don't need to build apartments, I just need to be able to edit the existing apartments, which looking back on sounds kind of silly now that we have the ability to make custom apartments, but I had kind of given up hope about that one. I really did not think we would ever get a pack like For Rent. And it's interesting because now that we have For Rent, you don't really need city living as much. I don't think that it's completely devalued because San Myshuno is still a really cool place to live. The festivals are fun. Living in a world that's only apartments is pretty cool. And also this is very different from any of the other worlds we have in the game. So I don't think that For Rent makes city living worthless, but it definitely does make it less useful. And clearly they thought about that because they made an update to this pack where you can now adjust any of the windows in any of the apartments. This is a complete game changer for this pack because there's so many apartments here that I never use because the windows are so poorly placed. And it's also very limiting in how you can do your floor plans because you kind of have to base everything around where the windows are. This is one of the starter apartments in the pack, and this is a good example of how you kind of get stuck with the layout that already exists. Even if I delete all these walls, there's really only so much that I can do as far as new floor plan stuff goes because I've got this weird window right here that I can't really draw on top of. So you get stuck making some kind of weird shapes to fit everything in. And then because there's windows here and I want to have windows in the bedroom, this room kind of has to be the bedroom and you can't really do much else. And the same goes for pretty much every single apartment in the entire world. If you've been playing The Sims 4 for a long time, what I'm going to show you here might make you want to cry, but look at this. You can move the windows. No cheats. You can just move the windows now in these San Myshuno apartments. You can delete the windows. You can replace them with any sort of window you want. You can completely customize the windows in San Myshuno now. So do you see what I mean? Like why did they not mention this in the patch notes? This is the kind of thing we've been begging for years. How are they gonna not bring this up? What I will say is that if you change the windows, it does make the apartment look kind of weird from the exterior, but I don't really think that it's that big of a deal. Like how often are you zooming out and looking at the building from far away? I don't know about you, but I barely ever do that. I'm a lot more concerned with how it looks from the inside, so I can see myself doing this all the time. Like probably every time I ever play in San Myshuno now, I'm gonna change the windows. By default, this little bedroom never had a window, but now if you wanted to, you could give them one, and you could even put it in like kind of an inconspicuous place where it doesn't stand out that much, and all of a sudden this apartment is like 10 times better. That's maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but like this is such a huge quality of life improvement for Simmers. There are a couple small problems. Number one, you can't change the doors, and the front door thing is probably one of the most annoying parts of this pack. And you also can't get rid of the default traits still. So there's a couple lot traits that are stuck on certain apartments. Like this one needs TLC, so it breaks a lot. Some of the others might have noisy neighbors. Some are classed as historical, so they have like a plaque inside that you can't move. And they still didn't change that, so you can't like delete the plaque or turn off the needs TLC thing if you want to. But the windows are a very good start. The windows were like the main problem that I had and the thing that I complained about the most. This apartment that Salim lives in is probably one of my other least favorite ones in the game. I do really like the idea of this apartment because I like how small it is, and we don't really have any other small ones in San Myshuno. And that's not as big of an issue now that we can build our own custom apartments, but I used to hate how big all the apartments were. And in this case, the windows are so tall and the apartment is so small. This little tiny square window used to make me want to scream. I hated this thing. That's like the first thing I'm gonna do is just delete the window and never use it again. Also, this window in the bedroom being in the far corner of the room, it reminds me of my childhood bedroom and I hate it. I used to hate how the window was just in the corner of my bedroom like this as a kid. The first thing I'm doing when I furnish this apartment next is getting a nice big one in the middle. And I really don't care if it looks bad. I just don't. I just do not care how it looks from the outside. I only care about the interior. Even on some of these bigger apartments, this is me being really picky, okay? But some of these windows are different colors. For some reason, they have like the 2 white windows and then 1 black one, and that has always bothered me so much. It would be fine from the outside, but on the inside, having one of the windows be black when there's 3 in a row has always bugged me so much. Even if I don't change the location of the windows, just changing the swatch is gonna be such a useful feature. Oh, and that is one of those plaques that you still can't change. So even if you wanted to, you cannot get rid of that. Sorry. Too bad, so sad. Still can't do that. Maybe someday. That day is not today. But anyway, all of that to say, this new window update has completely changed San Myshuno for me. I am gonna use these apartments so much more often now. Well, I guess most often I'm gonna build my own apartments. If I'm being honest, I'm probably gonna make them from scratch most of the time. But when I do wanna renovate these apartments, this has just completely changed all of my options. It's basically made them like completely new apartments. They're kind of more blank slates now. Specifically, Penny Pizzazz's apartment has always bugged me. I feel like her windows are in a very annoying place because there's not that many of them. So you get really stuck with layout. And now that I can change the layout, I've got a lot more options to make this place a lot cooler looking. So I think what I want to do today is renovate Penny's apartment and just start it over from scratch. One slight problem is that it does delete the windows. So if you didn't want that to happen, that would be kind of annoying, but you can copy them from the same floor and then kind of put them back if you'd like. I don't really even know what I want to do with this, but honestly, part of it is just going to be adding extras, like filling in this entire wall with windows so you can have this cool city view, and then also having more natural light in this side of the apartment is going to be huge. Because what I think I want to do is probably make Penny's bedroom over here in this corner. She could have a small bathroom in the middle, and then this L shape can be the main living space. I'm also kind of curious about switching the windows because we can do anything now. Like, you know, the industrial loft kit windows? I don't really know if that looks good from in here. I'm not sure if that's bad. Or even like the mosquito stuff ones. These are so cool for an apartment like this. Can you use the open ones too? Oh my God. Wait, maybe I'll open the 2 middle ones. Okay, that looks really bad from the outside. Just again, don't look at the outside, okay? The outside doesn't matter. We only care about the inside here. Maybe I could give her 2 smaller windows in her bedroom. See, I think that looks really cool. I really like the vibes of this. Maybe I could use these doors because they have like the little transom, which will be nice because that gets some light into the bathroom. Poor Penny has always needed more pizzazz in her apartment. It was not speaking to me. I do like this wood floor a lot, so I might use that in here. Unless if we're going for like kind of an industrial vibe, should I use concrete? Because she could have some shiny polished concrete in here. I don't know, it might not be good. It's kind of hard to say. I'm thinking I'll have her kitchen kind of in the entryway over here, and then this part becomes a living room. Ooh, I like the pink and purple on this. That kind of matches her vibes too. She likes vibrant colors. You can see by the belt and the shoes. That's why I like this idea of a lot of neutrals, like the black cabinets and stuff, but then adding in all the extra colors. I don't know if this cabinet is a bad idea or not. I'm not sure. I don't know if I like it. I also really don't like the color of that dishwasher. I think it's kind of ugly. Can this be lighter? Like maybe make it more of a stainless steel sort of vibe? I have an idea for these kitchen counters that maybe is bad. I'm not sure. It does require some scooting, but oh, yeah, visual clipping, bad. Okay, well, I used some end pieces on either side of the stove. What if we did something like that? It makes the entryway really ugly. But I'm trying to detract from the door because I don't like the door. Honestly, I would be open to like getting my own front door. I know this seems really bad, but like I'm totally down to just hiding that door and then making my own. I don't think I like the concrete. It's too bland. I think we need some more texture to look at on the floor. It also makes the kitchen really large and like takes away some of the space that I was planning on using for the living room. It would be okay, but I still want to have bar stools, and I don't know if that's gonna work. I guess guess I could just shrink it. That's probably better. Okay, so we're looking for vibrant colors. I'm not really feeling obsessed with most of these. I do think that these pink stools might be okay. Should I use this horrible curved TV? I don't think so. In my head, Penny is like really famous. She's like big time influencer type. So I feel like she needs to have a really fancy apartment. And if that means using money cheats, then so be it. Do I use the same cabinets underneath the TV? I think so. And then I guess we'll get a bunch of gold accents everywhere. Does this come in a... Yikes. Okay, I don't know. We'll see. But we have the gold on the chairs, so I'm gonna use the gold chairs as like a starting point. We can get some gold accent lighting, maybe some gold legs on other chairs, stuff like that. I hate to say it, but like the base game purple sofas, I don't really like this shade, but it does match the rug. Like whether you like it or not, it does match. Right now, I'm kind of trying to pretend that these curtains would go all the way across, but they're like all piled up in the corner at the moment. And then I'm getting like a double curtain rod because I want to add some color to it. So I put the black one on top. That does tie in more of the pink. And then maybe I could get a really big plant or something. Because, whoa, okay, maybe not that one. I don't think I wanted to have purple leaves, but something like this, maybe that would be better in this corner. It's very cool and very decorative, and it has all the right colors. This leaves me with some unfortunate chair swatches. I don't know if I want to use most of these. Some of them are too dusty, some of it's too light. This is a whole other shade of pink, but it has like a nice golden-ish leg. So that's good. What do we think about that table? This is a very different vibe than what I would normally go for, so I'm not really sure if I like it or not. Ooh, that kind of works. Interesting piece of artwork. This thing kind of works too for the big wall because it brings in more of that purple color. That actually ties everything together, I would say. Okay, that makes me feel better because I was getting a little bit worried about this. I don't think I like that. That's not the vibes. I think I'm gonna need to bring in some more greenery and like green plants because a lot of the colors in here are kind of samey. Are those too close together, the two lights? I don't think so. I was worried about this being too close to that, but I think it's okay. Oh my gosh, this tea kettle even comes in black and gold. I haven't used this one yet. I like that. I'm also not really sure how much clutter she'd have on her kitchen counter because this is like a very fancy person. So she wouldn't have like a messy kitchen. So I don't know if having like this thing out is bad and if it should be less. Oh wow, should I use this ghost chair? That matches so well. It would just be perfect, wouldn't it? Ooh, this one's actually kind of cool. I don't know. If I do that, I feel like we have to add in some other funky print stuff because I actually think that that matches, but we'd have to get some more items of similar vibes. I do think that this is cool too. This thing kind of matches and it's like similar vibes to this chair with the pattern, but in like a fancier way. Right now, this place is very fancy over very funky, if that makes any sense at all. I'm not sure that it does, but that's also an option. I don't know. Yeah, we have officially reached the point of this build where I'm not 100% sure what I'm going for and I'm kind of just winging it. That's a cool table. It's like shiny. Okay. Maybe we pretend that these magazine covers are magazines that Penny has been in. Oh, that does not work. Okay. Those did not fit. Sorry. Maybe she gets one set of magazine covers or maybe like two if I stack them nicely. Again, in my mind, she is a supermodel. So these are covers that she's done. There's actual magazines as well if I wanted to add some of those. We have like the mosquito stuff ones. There's interior design ones. Is this cool in a good way? That tile color together? I do like the idea of a patterned tile. I'm just not sure how much is too much. Oh no. I also wanted to have gold accents and I don't like most of these swatches. Oh, that works. Okay. It does come in black and gold. You would expect it to, but also sometimes the game has like really, really strange swatch choices. So you just can never be sure if anything is gonna match how you want it to. There is a purple bathrobe, so we can use that. Maybe we could get something like this on the walls. I do like the vibes of that. I have no idea what to do for the bathroom tile. I'm actually kind of leaning towards doing it all black. I'm not sure if that's ugly though. This is kind of the theme of today. I'm trying something new and I'm not sure if it's ugly. I was kind of hoping to go for like slightly industrial vibes in the apartment and have like brick along a back wall. I don't know if that brick is good or not. There are some other bricks that might be better. This Realm of Magic one kind of has like a purple tint to it, which is either really cool or really bad, depending on how you look at it. It either leans really good or too much. And I have a problem with doing too much in my builds sometimes. I will be the first to admit that. I know I definitely can go a bit overboard with the color theming when I do Sims builds. Oh no, not that one. I'm trying a couple of rug options. I'm not really very pleased with any of them. Does this fuzzy rug come in any plain colors? It does come in plain pink. That's too big though, isn't it? That might work for her bedroom. I'll consider it. There's also like this rug, which that kind of changes the vibes of the whole room. All of a sudden, it's like a lot more fun in here. I can't tell if I like it. Oh, we could use this one. We could have bowling rugs. This one also kind of matches nicely. Oh wait, yikes, maybe not. It comes in a lighter color. No, I'm overthinking this way too much. It's really not that big of a deal. See, that's the sort of rug that I should use if I was gonna do the pastel pop stuff. But I think that the place is leaning too fancy. It's like this dark purple does not fit pastel pop vibes. The dark purple is the problem. This rug maybe works. Maybe. We could also do a different color and have it be like a bit more plain. Sometimes plain is good too, especially if we're gonna have like pink or purple on the walls. I'm really sorry that it took me so long to figure that out. I'm like a little bit embarrassed by how much time I spent looking at wallpaper. Oh, spider web. Wow. that would be really quite something, wouldn't it? Is white an option? Like just doing some kind of plain colors? Because there's a lot of dark happening and a lot of like bright stuff happening. So would it be good to have it be a bit more plain? I think I'm liking the living room. Let's try and do her bedroom for a second. I did save this bookshelf just in case. I want to have a desk in this corner, and then I figured we'd have her bed kind of on this big wall. I don't know what bed. I know I want it to be kind of fancy. The place is also leaning like a little bit, ooh, no. I was gonna say leaning a little bit industrial, but not really. It's just the windows. Oh, that bed matches that rug. I don't know if it's bad though. I wonder if I could use that, but then somehow make like a slightly custom headboard. Cause, well, that looks horrible. But if you could maybe like stack stuff together. No, that's not gonna work, is it? It's too tall. I like the bedspread, but I don't really love this headboard for this room. There's also this one. This one's kind of a bit more gold. Oh, that comes in, I don't know. That comes in kind of the right vibes, but it's like it's not vibrant enough. I need more purple. I really actually in this case like that horrible base game purple, which I didn't think I would ever say, but I think it kind of works. I need that dark color. This color, I hate to say it, but that's kind of what I'm going for. Whoa. That is, oh my God. I don't know if I've ever used that swatch before, like ever in my life. Penny, I think this is your time. I'm gonna do it. It matches. Maybe I'll give her big windows along the whole wall again in here, because I did like how that looked in the other room. It is actually really cool to have the windows all the way across inside. It's just the outside that's the problem, but I've already established that I don't care. We cannot choose now to care about the outside. It looks silly, so let's just accept it and move on. I'm kind of into the idea of doing some fancy golden stools as the nightstands. I don't really know if those in particular look good. There's a bunch of options that do have gold on them. I don't really like those. I think it looks bad with this thing, but like this comes in gold. There's even the ones from Growing Together. They're smaller, like these ones, and they're mirrored. This is really not my personal style, so I'm sorry if it looks bad. I think that like I struggle sometimes to do stuff that I wouldn't necessarily, choose in real life, like that. So like while I like it in The Sims, I would never decorate a room with this thing. So I think it makes it harder for me to furnish around it in game, if that makes any sense. I wish that this had some slight gold accents to it that were less offensive than this color, because I don't think that looks good. This item looks good with that thing, but these nightstands do not look good with that thing. Are there nightstands from the Vintage Glamour pack? Again, I'm overthinking this. Oh, no. No, I won't be using that. I guess we could try, instead of the gold, like mirrored nightstands, I could maybe use these gray ones, because that does match everything else a little bit better. And then we could still have the gold on the lamps. Although, no, I kind of want to have pink. And this pink is not, it's not hot pink. Well, we're mixing and matching pinks. That's fine. I've decided I like it. Okay, can I use this same artwork in the bedroom? I don't know. It might be weird to use it twice. I don't really know if we have that many other options though. Whoa, I don't think I've ever used that before. Can I do it? I actually think that is vile. Like I do not like that chair for this room at all. Is that zebra print? Like it's a hairy zebra. I really don't think that I should be using it, but also saying that, I feel like it's perfect for this. It's kind of bad in like the exactly right way. I'm so sorry if you hate it, because You're probably like horrified by this right now. I don't think that looks good. Also, this purple looks bad too. But I put like a gold mirror here. I've got a little dog. I might use a laptop instead of a proper computer because that seems a little bit more realistic. I say that sitting from my desktop computer where I have 3 monitors set up. So I don't know. You can't do nice big 3 monitor setups in The Sims very easily. Maybe she could have a journal that she's working on writing down ideas or something. Okay, I think that this works. I kind of like her apartment. This is a totally different vibe from what it is before, but it's so much brighter. We've got so many more windows. The view looks so much better this way. Like, look at what you can see out of her bedroom. I can't believe that they finally added this. We've all been asking for this forever, like ever since City Living first came out. And I was expecting it to be like locked under a cheat or something. I think in my ideal scenario, in my head, there would be like edit apartments on or some sort of weird cheat like that, and then you'd be able to move the windows that way. I never expected it to just be this easy and just you can do it, no question asked. Still not really sure why they didn't mention it in the patch notes. I feel like it has to have been an accident because this does happen sometimes. They'll like overlook things in the patch notes. Usually it's with small stuff like maybe a new hairstyle or like a new shirt that got added. Maybe the shirt was new in the game for them like a while ago, but it's only just now being pushed to everybody. So they like might not realize that it's new. I don't really know what happens, but often they fail to mention stuff in the patch notes. The patch notes always cover all the bug fixes, but they don't always list all the new stuff. And I personally care more about the new stuff than the bug fixes. So we all keep complaining about that too, and they've yet to fix it. So I kind of forgot about her little entryway. Sorry about that, Penny. I can add to it. Here. There, I gave her some bags. Now her apartment is done. I am gonna upload this to the gallery. Annoyingly, when you put stuff on the gallery, you have to delete walls so the game thinks the whole thing is just one room. And then it always looks really weird on the gallery, but that's okay. I'm just gonna call it Penny Pizzazz Apartment. Hopefully that makes it easy to find. I always try and put the hashtag of the apartment's name so it's easier to find them when you're looking for them on the gallery, but it just looks so dumb because they've got all these numbers, but whatever. It's up on the gallery now for you if you want to download it. I did use a lot of packs. For an apartment this small, this is just horrendous, and for that I apologize. But I had fun doing it. It was all for the sake of the experiment, right? And if you're excited about apartments, I have been posting a ton of stuff playing with the For Rent pack. So if you want to go back and watch any of those things, I'll start by linking you my review here on the end card. But I've done a bunch of builds, I've done some gameplay challenges, like I've basically been posting that pack nonstop for like a week and a half. Let me know in the comments if you are also this excited about the City Living update, because this has just completely changed the whole pack for me. Apartments are thriving in The Sims right now. They are just giving us everything we've been asking for. And with that, I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow. Okay, bye everybody. It's nice to find excuses to use swatches that you don't normally gravitate towards, because I never use this hot pink purpley color, but the base game has so much of it, so it's fun to find a place that it works.